Hi folks, we are back with our champions of Westeros, and we have our second game that we will see from the quarterfinals. So we have two players already through. Marton won against Johan. Didn't manage to record that one, but we did see yesterday how Marek lost to Alex. So Alex and Marton are first two semi-finalists, and today we'll get our third one. And we'll be watching the game between Mog and NiL. And the players have already started, I believe. So let's see what they have for us. Apologies again for the slow loading images. That's just how it goes for me. And yes, so we have Nico playing his Tyrell, well, not his usual white book deck. It's Lord of the Crossing deck, so I guess this will be a faster one. And we have an interesting card to start with, the Queen of Thorns that searches for events. So presumably events that gain some power quickly. Could even be the lady stuff. We have two on setup. And on the other side we have an interesting setup as well. All three copies of the fast Robert Baratheon along with Storms and Meister. Okay, so that's a weird card that you don't see every day, but if you do have more power, you can draw a card with it. It's for me, it never sounds like an efficient play, but yeah, decent chance to have that triggering condition available. And it's an Aloof and Apart deck, so you can play high cost characters a little more cheaply, but of course they do gain prized. Now this deck, I'm guessing, will not be high on resets, the crossing one. It's I think will have power on its characters as well, so we'll probably like to keep them in play. And it's not all in on the ladies. As you can see, we have some knights as well, so I guess we'll be seeing cards like Lady Sansa's Rose, maybe the plot that allows you to put power on ladies when you win with a knight character. Not sure what that's called. And here we have the Stormlands, another rarely played card that lets you do a second power challenge. Lets you stand the king as well if you have it, and as you can see, Mog does have one, Robert, so if he does two power challenges, he can get 2 renown and 2 triggers for his ability. And now let's see how this challenges phase goes. Losing Sir Richard for intrigue claims. I was just checking if the Queen of Thorns was triggered while I was talking. No, so not searching for anything. Maybe there isn't an event, of course, to discard from hand, or maybe Nico has everything he needs. And if Mog wants to do his challenges back, he cannot really try to stop this crossing. But not too bad for him, because there is no real penalty, nothing was played to accelerate the power gain, no superior claim or Lady Sansa's Rose or anything like that. So it's only 3 for Nico, could have been worse here. Of course he has 0 gold as well, which stops some threats from being played here. Yeah, not bothering about the military challenge to try to kill off this Hedge Knight, for instance, just going for all the power. And this is much quicker. Starts with 8. Yeah, this business of going first against this Baratheon deck and then you have Robert striking back. It's not pleasant for Nico. I think might need to either change strategies or hope to have some intimidate in hand, which Tyrell does have. You can play Lord Renly's Right, for instance. If you get rid of Robert, then he can still stand. Can he? No, he has to participate to stand with the Stormlands. Yeah, so if you get rid of him, that's not too bad. And yeah, that's now exactly the situation. So Duel takes care of Robert, kills off Varys and Selmy. Good call here for Nico. So I guess he was planning for something like this, because otherwise it's not really a plot that you include in a regular deck. And now, of course, the Stormlands cannot be triggered because of the King in the North. It does not itself have the King or Queen trait. And I think Crossing will have a better round here. Now, Sir Justin, of course, has a passive ability. He gains renown because Robert is in play, but he cannot trigger his stand. And the Queen of Thorns, in case you were wondering, not really a queen, so she can't trigger either. In fact, Nico has no triggers whatsoever available here, so I think I'll just try to pull off the Crossing challenge again. Interesting, so when Barristan leaves play, you gain some power for prized. This is not optional, so in case you didn't want any power on your faction card for the opponent to steal, you can't really avoid it. It's a mandatory keyword that just resolves. Two characters standing. That's not quite enough to do the Crossing challenge. But here comes the most important one, to stabilize the power toes a little bit, and getting rid of another high cost character. Stannis here for intrigue claim, so hit quite nicely both times. And now, after this round, even though the King in the North could have potentially closed the game, it's such an impactful plot for decks that don't have that many triggers. Nico had a really good one here to level the score, and now I think both players might be somewhere close to getting to 15. So this could be an interesting one. Mog wins initiative and he goes first. He has the stand here and the two rubber triggers if he can pull them off, and if he has another strong character like Sir Richard or Stannis in play, I think he will marshal it and get rid of this Maester, of course. And then three characters will of course struggle after the Mad King's command resolves to do 3 challenges for Nico, unless he wants to leave everything unopposed, which could be game ending, of course. Looks like there won't be another high coster here. And the Queen of Thorns has drawn twice for insight, so think now there must surely be some kind of event for her to trigger. So if Nico survives and has a chance to strike back, then she finds the appropriate events. There is the honey wine as well, which has no limit. I think he can get from 6 to 15 for sure. The question is, can he survive if he opposes absolutely nothing here? Beacon of the South on Garland. That's another power for the same triggering condition as the honey wine. Also no limit, but he is unlikely to stand. And I think this one will be resolved fairly quickly, so all three characters, 3 locations for Mog, and then he has to basically lose 2 cards from hand. I don't think he'll lose this one in Shadows, otherwise there was no point in marshalling it into Shadows. And on the other side we have 3 locations, only 1 attachment, and for sure Garland, the Knight of Flowers, and the Queen of Thorns will be kept. And then 3 of the 5 cards. Let's see if I call this one incorrectly. Yeah, no surprises. And I think these might be events now, because the game should end here, I think. I think the only way the game doesn't end is if Mog does his challenges and Nico just tries to defend to minimize the power he gives away, and then both players finish on 10 or something. And what do we have here? Nightmares on Sir Garland. Okay, so that brings his strength down and his ability to move it around to manipulate the challenges phase, but there's potential big strength gain for the Knight of Flowers as well, and of course the Queen of Thorns is very dangerous if she kneels. Alright, just trying to defend it, to win on defense, and the plan worked, so never mind all that about the game ending here. So that one big challenge didn't work. Interesting, because there's so much stand here. There's the Stormlands and Sir Justin, and you can initiate 2, so I guess if you're not sure that you will pull off the first one, you could try just doing 2 instead. And only 1 challenge on the other side, so the Queen of Thorns does the power, which seems the most important one at this point. And again, she doesn't trigger. So we have Nico on 11 and we have Mog on 6. Mog going first again, knows that he doesn't have a character, so Hands of Spikes misses. And still the same situation, so now there is a 2-claimer here, so if the challenges go through, her ability, yeah, might be a factor here as well. Not the kill part as much as the moving power, of course. And Crossing's best friend here, the Green Apple Knight. So, okay, we are on 6, let's see. So, hypothetically, if we had the 2 power challenges that were both successful for 2 claim, that would be 4 power, and 2 renown on Robert and 2 triggers on Robert, that would be 14, and we have renown on Sir Justy, that would be 15. So again, it's the same situation, and this time if this one goes through, both will stand. Of course, Stormland stands Robert and Sir Justin stands himself. And an additional one for unopposed here. Now can Nico defend the second one? So the first one was stronger because Melisandre of course has stealth and an additional 5 strength in the challenge, but now the next one would be only 12, including the red keep. And I think if Nico fully defends, and he must, otherwise it's game over. He can defend himself. Question is, can he keep 2 standing characters or only the Green Apple Knight? Growing strong, so he will be able to defend this one with just the 2, and then he gets 3 challenges back. Let's see, so there is 2 renown on defense, that would be 11. Unopposed and Crossing wins the game if there are no surprises. This card has been in shadows since the Mad King's command and never got used, so I wonder what it is. And yeah, close one, just one more challenge needed, either this round or the previous round. And of course that King in the North into a duel was a nice one for Nico. So even though we played 4 rounds, almost the full 4 rounds, this one was over very quickly to decks that had only one thing on their mind, just to rush as quickly as possible. And yeah, the Queen of Thorns never triggered the entire game. There were only 2 events really played, and they were exactly the 2 that Nico needed, so no need to ever trade them. But for instance, hypothetically, of course, if there was another event, something like a Lady Sansa's Rose that you couldn't really do because you needed to defend with more than one character, you just of course put her into the challenge and she triggers and trades it for growing strong, and of course that lets you win on defense. So good one. We have our third semi-finalist then. It's Nico from Germany joining our previous 2 from France and Hungary. And who will be the 4th one? I think that one gets played tomorrow night on Saturday. And yeah, we have Norway against France. We have Kristin against Argento. And hopefully the players let us record that one as well. So thanks for joining me on this one. Hopefully we'll see you on the last one as well. Bye bye.